Hello, and welcome to episode number 5 of Dr. Scott's Weekly Training Blitz. So if you're new to the Blitz or joining us for the first time, I encourage you to check out the description box to find out a little bit more about the Blitz, how it works, and why I developed it, and kind of what to expect. But for my folks who are more familiar with the Blitz, I'll go ahead and dive right into our training updates today. And then we also have one training topic that we'll kind of discuss and kind of review very quickly. So for training updates, for my internal teams and my external teams, I just have one update around our next training. So we did have our person-centered care training. It was originally scheduled for October 18th. That has since been rescheduled. The new training date for that is November 30th. It'll take place at 3 p.m. So it's a 1-hour training. It is approved for 1 hour of continuing education credit for my nursing folks, my social work folks, and also my community health workers. So just kind of be on the lookout for those registration links as they come out. Remember, there are 3 pieces or 3 components that you do need to complete in order to get credit for those trainings. So there's the registration, so just kind of registering for the training. Once you log in to actually, do the training, you'll see that we have a link for signing in. You do have to sign in at the time of the training, and it'll ask you like the time that you signed in, and you'll have to put your licensing information and all that on there. So make sure you complete that. And then also the post-training evaluation or kind of follow-up questions, those will be sent out after the training via email, so you receive that. So just make sure you do all 3 pieces in order to receive continuing education credit. If you have any questions about that, or if you want to know, any follow-up concerns, feel free to reach out to me. My email is angela.scott@cchmc.org. So that's our training update. And now I'll kind of dive into a topic which I feel like is very relevant to this time of year. So as we kind of go into episode number 5 here, I'm kind of calling this the Halloween edition, just because we do have Halloween right around the corner here. And so one of the topics that I wanted to highlight, or one thing that I wanted to kind of, point out, is just that during this time of year, for kids, Halloween is, it's a fun time. It's a time to get dressed up, go out, get candy and junk food, and celebrate the season. However, for some kids, especially our kids who have a history of trauma, who may have had a history of abuse or have observed or seen violence in their history or their background, this actually can be a very traumatic time for kids, especially when you think about the nature of some of the costumes that they might see, some of the decorations that folks, kind of put up outside their homes and things like that. So I always say kind of be on the lookout for any traumatic responses. And really, we've just recently had our trauma-informed care training. So many folks, especially on our internal teams, have been kind of learning more and more about those symptoms and signs of trauma. And so I would certainly just, encourage you to look out for those things for the youth that you're working with, and encourage families also, if you are aware that the youth has a history of trauma in their background, as they kind of go out to celebrate the season, that they're just being informed in the way that they're, the costumes they're selecting for the youth to wear, but also the exposures that the youth is allowed to have, out here as they're going trick-or-treating or, kind of other settings, Halloween parties, etc. Because something that may be very benign or considered to be in good fun or good spirit, for folks who haven't had a history of trauma, might actually be very triggering for some kids who have, had those experiences. So I always encourage you to, just have those conversations with the families that you work with. If you notice that families are reporting any specific like behavioral concerns, either, on the Halloween holiday or either, after the holiday, if you've noticed like kids are increased behavioral issues, increased escalation of emotionality or emotional reactivity, those kinds of things, that might mean that, there's been some kind of a trigger during that Halloween holiday. So you just want to kind of be on the lookout for that and provide support for families as they manage the holidays. So that's my update for today, or my training topic is just more so awareness around just being really trauma informed in the way that we interact with our youth and families, but also in the way that we encourage families to engage with holidays. Because like I said, a holiday like Halloween, which is meant to be, in good fun, can be re-traumatizing for some kids who have had really difficult histories. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. But yeah, as always, I'm happy to bring these videos to you. If you have any topic suggestions or things that you'd like to learn a little bit more about, I encourage you to reach out to me. Again, my email address is angela.scott@cchmc.org. Until next time, take care.